I should have turned it on. I didn't even think. Yeah. Okay. And so rehash what you just now said about so many pigments are allowed by the FDA. Or actually,
So
it's not FDA, it's food and it's agriculture, isn't it?
yeah, it's well, the FDA has a very interesting umbrella with it because the FDA, like microneedling, falls under the FDA.
Yeah.
Ultrasound technology, lasers, anything that has to do with the physical body falls under the FDA. But the thing is over time, like you're gonna have this one particular thing that was approved by the FDA, and I think I'll use Skin Pen. I'm not sponsored. Um, Skin Pen is the top of the line approved by the FDA, but then you're going to have other people that are going to come in and be like, I'm going to utilize this technology and I'm going to utilize this technology and I'm going to utilize this technology. And it's just like this like umbrella thing that starts to happen. And the same thing goes for tattoo ink and tattooing in general is something that was tattooed before the FDA started regulating it because they realized that it actually penetrates further than the epidermis. Um, they realized that a lot of them contained heavy metals because they were trying to appeal to a particular demographic. The brighter that tattoo, the longevity of the tattoo. So they would find pigmentations like Cinnabon, which is the red ink that is no longer allowed because it contains mercury sulfite. Um, that one is highly carcinogenic and can cause cancerous cells to develop in your lymphatic system to attack the skin cells that are attached to it or what it was, imprinted in or tattooed in. But back in the day, they had like titanium oxide, they had even iron. They had a lot of heavy metals. And going back to our discussion before the start of recording, um, MRI machines would pick up on that. And that's why they would actually throw a plate over anyone after, like if they would have intake forms. And I've seen these intake forms. Would be like if you had a tattoo before a certain amount of time, like before, I want to say it was like 1999, they would throw an iron plate over them to make sure that they're not going to have that just ripped out of their skin because of all the heavy metals that were actually injected into their skin.
Okay. If somebody does develop a malignancy, then is it going to develop on the site of that tattoo, or will it be
Um,
somewhere else? Will it go into the lymphatic system and uh, uh,
it this
generate
is an
sore?
interest this is a very interesting question because it depends on how heavy-handed that tattoo artist was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because if they're, I like when I have a couple of tattoos on my body, and my experience is my only heavy-handed one was going to be this. They didn't even want to finish it all the way because I was bleeding. But it really just depends on if you start bleeding during a tattoo, that means it's gone too far. That's gone into the bloodstream. And that can, like, I can tell you now with tattoo ink, unless of course they got it from second or third parties, um, it's completely safe. But tattoos back then, whether, like I said before, were in garages or prison cells, because in prisons they would use ballpoint pen ink, literally,
Well,
to do tattoos.
didn't they use ash? I thought ash was used. I've never been there, but that's just what,
I've heard that one
isn't it
too.
ash?
And as a person that has done laser tattoo reduction,
Uh-huh.
I've seen those things spark up like the 4th of July because what they did is, I'm trying to think, they would literally like burn a piece of paper
Yeah,
and the charcoal that's left
yeah.
behind is they would tattoo into their skin. And a majority of the time, that charcoal will stay there because the body thinks it's a like it doesn't know what to do with it, so it just like pushes it off to side, and that's how you end up with like scarring and keloids, and that's why it also fades a lot quicker. But when you hit that with the laser, it's like the 4th of July. It's like
Well,
so
you
I
mentioned,
won't touch those.
yeah, you mentioned keloids. That
Hmm.
picture that we saw on online, that really
Hmm.
kind of looked keloid-ish to me.
There
And if
was
someone is not prone to have keloid scarring, are they going to maybe have it with the tattoo?
um so keloiding is very fascinating. Um Normally it has to be somebody that's very heavy-handed, and it has to be a very that they I see keloiding a lot when it comes to like surgical scars or somebody like got like scratched by a cat or a dog. It has to be a very jagged cut because keloiding happens when your body is literally attacking itself
Hmm.
and it's overbuilding skin
Specific.
cells, and it's overbuilding melanocytes, and it's just trying to figure out what's going on, so it keeps building and building and building until it feels like it can finally complete itself.
Yeah.
um, the interesting thing with keloid scars is a majority of people that have them, typically it's normally in the abdomen area. A lot of people will not have them outside of here. Predominantly, people with a higher Fitzpatrick or a deeper skin tone will see
Mhm.
them more because the melanocytes are more active. With what I saw personally and professionally, that looked more like an infection and the body just not knowing what to do with it. It does look like keloiding in a sense, but that also could be the body's way of protecting itself. A person that may not be in a predisposition for keloid scars could also develop keloiding to protect the body from something that the body does not like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just that's just me.
Well, when I saw that on a friend's Facebook page, ah, I said everything that I had to say real quickly. Uh, so all of their family knows what I think about it.
Mhm.
It's just, why. Um, but I do understand that a lot of times people are partying and it's, hey, y'all, let's get a tattoo. There's a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
It's not there's not a lot of forethought into
Yeah.
that. And it's like, why don't y'all check with somebody like us first that knows about skin, that has some sense to us, and can lead someone to a better resource if I don't have it, if I don't know it. And so that somebody can make an informed decision about uh, putting pigment in their skin, which is okay.
I mean,
People want to do it, but I mean, be safe about it because the estheticians in Texas, we take the every 2 years the continuing education, and it's 4 hours of um, sanitation and disinfection, and that's it. We don't touch on the bloodborne pathogens, and nowadays, I just think it's very important that I mean we should be that should be required.
no, I agree. I can tell you that being someone that is very close friends with a lot of tattoo artists, a majority of them the schooling for being a tattoo artist is very vigorous. You have to go through schooling, um, understand your mastery of artistry, understand the depths of skin. So they do have some human anatomy involved, and then there also is an apprenticeship until the person that they're apprenticing under says that they're allowed to actually do this on human skin. A majority of the time, it's pig skin or like plastic or rubber skin.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
So
practiced on those.
I know that I'm never going to fault tattoo artists, but I am going to fault, how do I put it? There are professional tattoo artists out there, and then there are people that say they're tattoo artists. And there's always
That's
like
my
there's going to
point.
be, yeah,
That's my point.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
I'm
mean,
not going to
I'm guilty of it.
I'm not going to have a list of approved tattoo artists and approved psychotherapists and
Yeah.
approved podiatrists. I'm not going to have that, but it's just that I think that people are entering into something that they could later regret. Maybe, maybe not. And maybe it's something that they feel like they need or they want and they're proud of it. That's fine. It's fine with me. I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to
hmm
it. But I do also see, and we'll just touch on this right now, branding.
hmm
And that there was a group that I was trying to get in touch with, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, to see if I could do a chat, an interview with them on one of my YouTube channels, because they would do for these people, not just women, girls and boys and men and women that were branded, that were human trafficked and were branded, that they removed them for free, or they would try to reduce it as much as they
Yeah.
could for free. Um, but they were really, really too busy. And they said, if we get any more popular than this, then we're going to have people camping out on the sidewalk to come in. So, and I think that's a very noble thing to work with someone who is trying to get out of uh, domestic violence or human trafficking situation. Of course, back then it wasn't even called human trafficking, 5 or 6, 7 years ago.
I can relate. I worked at a place I can actually violate my NDA now because it's been so long. I worked with a place up in College Station, and I decided to do a campaign for the gentlemen and women that got out of the prison system.
Yeah.
A lot of these women and men was like misdemeanors and whatnot. They got some really questionable tattoos, right?
Hmm.
So I offered tattoo reduction to them, and I always promised them I was just like, I would always ask these three questions. And these three questions were, was it professional? Was it done in a garage? Or was it done in prison? And because that tells me the level of expertise.
Yes.
If it's done
Right.
in
Right.
prison, it was most likely done with
Yes.
the ashes of paper or a ballpoint pen. If it was done in a garage, that means they bought their ink from Amazon. If it's professionally done, that means that it was professionally
Yes.
bought with a license. And I took care of these people. Unfortunately, the owners of this facility did not like the fact that I had prisoners coming to their place. Um, but I didn't see it like
Well,
that.
that's
I saw it
sad.
as yeah, I saw it as
That's
a
sad.
second life for them because I had a couple of people that even had the teardrop and whatnot. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care what you did. You're here, you're now, you're trying to be better. I'll
Yeah.
remove that for you. It's gonna suck, but I got you, boy
Yeah.
or girl. But I removed a lot of prison tattoos, and they were pretty easy. I know they hurt for them, and I've removed biker tattoos or reduced them to the point where they can actually have cover-ups. I prefer doing fading and reduction as opposed to full removal because of the amount of hypopigmentation that can happen. But I'm very passionate about like tattoos and tattoo removal or tattoo reduction. And when I see I said before, and like you showed me, when I see cases like that, that I feel like they got drunk and just really wanted to have that tattoo because, like I said before, that was drunk.
Yeah. Well,
Because I've been having reactions with this tattoo for a while now.
and speaking of that, there are things that we cannot do. It's baffling to me. Like for say massage therapy, people are not supposed to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Uh, but there are these spas that serve the alcohol, and even facial places that serve alcohol,
Yeah.
and the nail places serve alcohol, and if they nip something, it's going to bleed more. But if somebody is under the influence, can they actually? I mean, is that illegal? They
Well,
can't
with
sign a contract. They're not responsible for a contract if they sign it.
a reputable tattoo business
Hmm.
will actually turn you away. One that's not sitting there um yo, I can tell you're inebriated and your inhibitions are all over the place. How about you come back, reevaluate that stupid tattoo that you picked off the wall, and come back to me when you're sober? A reputable place will do that. And
Yeah,
a majority of tattoo artists that I know, especially in the area that I live in or the areas that I've worked around, they will they will do that. And the same goes for medical spas too. I literally worked at a medical spa, um, which I can throw under the bus because they don't exist anymore, where they would feed um, alcohol to their clientele to make them spend more money.
yeah, yeah,
And that always, for me, was a huge moral issue because I'm like, well, first off, they're gonna bleed, and also, do they really
yeah,
want this?
yeah.
And also, are they going to have purchase regret in the morning and then retract the purchase afterwards? You know what I mean?
Or be a repeat client or a regular client. No, not if
Yeah,
they did, if they were treated that way and ended up purchasing $672 worth of product on top of their facial experience.
yeah. And this was like thousands of dollars
Oh yeah,
these people would throw down,
oh yeah.
um, because they had a couple glasses of wine. And I will always question that, and that's why I don't work there anymore. But going back to tattoos, I I feel like with like a closing thing is it's just like just be smarter. Make sure that you because I know you're recording this, but make sure as a person, whether you're a first timer or this is your third or fourth tattoo, make sure that they actually have the intake paperwork. Make sure that they actually have a portfolio. Um, if they're comprehensive or um, hesitant about telling you what the ingredients are in their tattoo ink, look elsewhere. You don't have to um, just stick with this one person because they're down the road. A lot of things can go wrong. The human body is very fascinating and it reacts to things very differently.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. I do want, well, since we're recording this, we're probably going to use this for a little um, uh, something, a short or a promo or a preview or something of what Amber and I are doing. We're getting ready to launch a uh, really, really good YouTube um, show that is going to be on other venues as well, not just YouTube, but
Mhm.
probably Spotify or Apple. And I believe Spotify is even doing videos. now. I'm not sure exactly
It
what you
is.
have to do to qualify for that, but that's what we're going to be aiming for. And we're going to touch on a lot of topics that we want the answers to. Some of them we know the answers to, some of them we don't, and we certainly don't know everything. Put us together, and we sure do know a lot. I was trained in tattoo removal with saline. I never did that as a business because I would have to get the tattoo license, which I was qualified for. I'm certified in it. And I would have to get the insurance. And that's just not something in my area that there was a great big demand for. And Amber, your experience in education.
Um, so I've been in laser for about 10 years and laser tattoo removal for about 5. I normally use a Q switch or an Indie Yag depending on the colors. Um, the darker pigment is the easiest. The darkest being black is the easiest to remove, and the lightest being green. Anything beyond that point, your body is going to absorb it itself. I've been doing it, like I said before, 5 years, and that is the method that I trust the most, and that's just me. But I also go with how the body works. Each person's very different. Obviously, the further away it is from the heart, the harder it is to remove. You might require more treatments. And also, if you're immunocompromised, your lymphatic system might take longer to actually um, minimize the tattoo removal process. So I don't know where to go with this.
Yeah, if someone is immunocompromised, is it going to make them sicker?
Yes, it could possibly. If you're getting a tattoo removal, um, normally I have an intake process, and it's just like if you're immunocompromised, because it's a lot going into the liver. It's a lot that's going through your kidneys. It's a lot that's going through your lymphatic system. I normally push, like my aftercare is lots of freaking water.
Yeah,
Lots. And obviously being active and locally massaging around the area to get that broken up. A majority of the people that I treated, I told them to do that, and the tattoo did dissipate over time. But a lot of, I have to say this, many people think that one laser tattoo removal treatment is enough. It will never be enough. Like I said, it has to do with where it's located, further away from the heart, if it's on your fingers, if it's on your wrist, if it's on your foot, the longer it takes for your body to break down. So there is a chance that that one treatment could possibly turn into 10 for the next 3 to 4 years, because that's
does
how
it leave
long your system
does it leave a
takes.
scab or an open wound?
Some people will have blistering. I've never actually experienced scabbing, but there is blistering, and that's completely natural.
Hmm.
That's because if the pigment is very dark in that area, and a laser, it's light, it hits it, and it's gonna really tick off the epidermis and other like superficial layers of the skin. So it's going to create this like bubble effect over it because that's his body's way of healing it. And that will obviously go away in time. Never pop them for the love of God, please don't. But blistering is the only thing I've ever seen. If there is any type of scabbing, if there's any type of lacerations, if there's any type of bleeding, um, see a medical professional because that's not normal at all. And I've never had that happen with me.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to close this section segment right now, and this is just a little extra something that it's not really even a trailer that we're putting out,
It's
and
just a
it will be
discussion.
yeah, it will be on um, our channel, our video podcast channel. So if you are listening to this in a podcast and there's no it's not the video. If you have questions that we did not answer well enough because we're talking with our hands and pointing to things,
Yeah, I'm like over
that
here.
you're
I'm like,
not seeing, yeah,
ugh.
you're not seeing if you're listening to a podcast, then please put a question in the comment section and get in touch with us. And if we don't know the answer, we will search until we find someone that does. And so please subscribe and share this, tell your friends about it.
Mhm.
And we appreciate our audience. Thank
Yeah,
you,
I'm
Amber.
always
I'll see you
we're
soon.
both open to questions. You take care.
Yeah,
Love you, boo.
love you.